Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Vortex. I'm your host, Kathleen Pitt, the quantum psychic. I am coming off of winter break, so it's January 5th, the new year, 2026, the year of one. That's all I've been talking about, the snake and the transformation and the shedding, and 2025 being a year of nine. Now, technically, the year of the snake goes until February 17th, which then the year of the horse comes in. But we're in 2026 and it's the year of one. And so these foundations, this beginning, this transformation, it's all here. And this January to February 17th is going to be this 6 week on ramp, I believe, of accelerated energy. You're either in or you're out, says the universe. You are either in or you're out for your destiny. So, what is your destiny? What is your purpose? What is calling you? Why are you here listening to this? What's going on in your world? This week, I wanted to share a story with you about my journey and about how things have ended up the way they are. And what's so interesting is that I think I shared a podcast about this. Maybe it was in an email. So I'll just recap really quickly if this is the first episode you're listening to. Probably about like mid-December, I got so sick. Actually, beginning of December, I got so sick. We're talking like I had 3 weeks of like pneumonia, or no, 2 weeks of pneumonia. I was better for like one day, and then I got the flu. Now I have young kids, and yes, of course, we just accept that the germ theory is real and also quantum theory is real and that sometimes you just get sick. But I know that there's always a deeper meaning. There's always a deeper meaning. There's always something to reflect on, to always go in and see and evaluate and gain insights on of like, why is this happening to me? What's going on? And while I was sick, I was basically forced. Like I was getting feeling better. And then the next morning I woke up. I was like, all right, I can do this. I gotta keep going. And I woke up and I was way, way worse. And I had to go lay down. And I laid down. And what happened was almost extraordinary. Like I remember reading this book. I finished this book. I had my third eye was just like throbbing, throbbing, throbbing. And so I closed my eyes and I slowed my breathing. And I thought, what? Like, what do you want to show me? And what channeled through me was something that's been channeling through me for a long time, and I've been giving it in bits and pieces, but it's just definitely the core of my work now, was Christ consciousness. But not Christ consciousness in the way that, you know, Jesus is inside you, which is part of it, right? Or not in Christ consciousness in a way of surrender to Jesus and give it all to him. He can take care of everything. I think that's such a disempowering stance that I see the church, of course, but also spiritual leaders embody. No, it was Christ consciousness in the way that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, a unity, right? Like I hear people talk about Jesus and I hear people talk about Mary Magdalene. I hear people talk about Sophia, but very rarely do I hear about this intertwining connection of the two of them, two parts to one whole, masculine and feminine. And as this came through me, it just was the question I kept getting was why? Why this? Why now? Why here? What does this mean? Well, why was he crucified? And who is he? And like all of these questions. Because if I'm presenting channeled information, if I'm presenting things to you all, I want to make sure that I have a sound, logical basis for where that's coming from, right? Like, or at least I'm tying the strings together of consciousness so that you can receive the message that you're meant to receive. And so this all like really channeled through me. And I put it on Instagram and I'll link that post here in case you haven't seen it. And it's gone viral. It's still going viral. And that was like, I think I posted it December 18th or something like that. Like it's still going viral. And of course it did, because it was really the culmination of my work and my journey of what I'm here for and what I'm meant to do. That's energetic resonance in quantum marketing. It's what I teach in my programs. When you live in alignment with your truth, you allow this ripple effect to move over and affect and find who it's meant to, because you have entered the frequency of your soul mission. So this post went viral, right? And then what comes after December 18th? Oh, like every other day in September, where you're absolutely, it's just covered up in stuff and people and obligations. And like I'm saying it that way, but of course it was a beautiful, beautiful time. Like I was with my family, I was with my kids. I was so looking forward to winter break because right now traditional school is our family's choice, and it's working really well for us, and it is the choice for us. But I miss them, and so every time they're off work, I really dive into the opportunity to be with them and be deeper. And my husband was off work, and we saw a bunch of family, and we had family come visit us. And yeah, I just received like, I don't know, I think like 8,000 follows. They're still coming in. I've down got 500 new leads, people downloading my freebie, people emailing me, people reaching out. Now, typically when I get a follow or something, I'm all over it. I'm like, "Hi, thanks for being here. Like, what's going on in your world?" But I couldn't, right? I couldn't do that. I couldn't follow up with what 8,000 people over Christmas. I couldn't do that on a regular day. And I'm sharing all this with you to show you, number one, what happens when you enter energetic resonance of your mission, of what you're here to do, and who you're meant to help, and how your soul clients will find you, because it's simply a frequency of the timeline that you're choosing. But I'm also here to tell you that I had no choice but to surrender, right? I had no choice but to surrender to my mission, to what was calling me, because in every timeline I walked down, there wasn't a timeline where I wasn't doing this work. There wasn't one where I rejected it and said, heck no, I'm going to go back to being an NP. I'm going to go back to just being a stay-at-home mom. Like, I'm going to learn how to make sourdough, I guess. No, there's just none of that. And if that's all you, if that's what you want to do, that's amazing. My soul's not lit up by that. So no, there was no timeline where I wasn't doing this work. So let's persevere, let's move forward, right? Let's surrender to the vision and watch the magic happen. But then I had to surrender to something even deeper. Surrender of the control, surrender of the logic, of the messaging. No, like trusting that what's coming through, what's happening, all of the systems, the divine masculine that I put in place over the last 2 years, the lead copy and the email and the website and the sequencing and the, many chat automations, whatever it is that you use in your business that feels soul aligned. I had to trust that that was working, that there was nothing that needed to be fixed, nothing that needed to be changed, nothing that needed to be shared differently. True, true surrender to all this work that I've put in over the last 2 years. So where are you not trusting what you already have in place? Where are you doubting your message? Soul clients are in your vortex ready to pay you now. It's a frequency. It's not a strategy. It's a frequency. Now, over time, I started this business, March of 2024, right? So over time, I have received divine guidance. I received divine guidance. Move to Kajabi. Okay, great. That's like a website host or whatever. Okay, put an email sequence in, put this in your email, channel this message, post this content, do these things. And at the time, I remember being like, okay, will do, posting, looking, waiting, saying, okay, why did I do that? Like, what was the purpose? Like, what was the point? Like, where's the money cash clients? Like, what's going on? Opportunity, joy, peace, love, harmony. Where is it? Because that's not what it's about, right? It wasn't about that. It was about the long-term effect over time, outside of space and time. And of course, as I've worked through my stuff and settled into my leadership and my authority in my business, that question doesn't happen anymore. It's just, no, this is what I meant to post. This is what I meant to say. This is going to find who it's meant to when it's meant to. All I have to do is trust that I'm receiving guidance from my future self and allow that to move through me. It gets to be that easy. That's the number one question I get. Does it get to be that easy? Can it be that easy? Yes, it is that easy. It is that easy to be in flow with your future self, the quantum version of you, the timeline that you're choosing, the frequency that you're choosing, and you're allowing to move through you, the divine transmission and channel of light that is you gets to be that easy, gets to be that simple. So as I'm trusting this and I'm seeing this impact and how I can't do anything about it, and I have to surrender to the fact that my kids are home and our internet's not really working. I don't know why that's completely separate from Christmas. My parents are in town, triggering all my old childhood wounds that I get to alchemize and bring to the surface. People are going through my content from 2 years ago, all the way down, liking, commenting. This happened to me. You have my attention. I can't believe this has happened to me yesterday. Our synchronicities are all the same. So all this journey to get to where I am and the space to hold it and the The knowing that I can't not do this work, that this is meant for me on every level, allowing me to just, if there's haters, hate, or allowing me to say, okay, that's fine. I'm delivering a polarizing message. Jesus wants you to be a millionaire. Okay. I guess I'm a heretic. Move on. Like, okay, in your line of perception, I'm a heretic. Great, let's move on. I'm seeing this quantum work. I'm seeing this resonance in motion, in action. When I didn't know why I was doing that thing, why I was setting up email sequences, why I was moving to Kajabi, why I was doing this, why I was posting that, why I was sharing this, why I was saying, I didn't know then, but I'm seeing it now. And of course, I did see it then too. There were other people that resonated, but it's timeless. It's outside of space and time. It's a frequency that you hold. It's your divine channel. You're not meant to control every aspect of your life and business. You are meant to hold it. You are meant to hold your frequency, hold your timeline, hold your choice. Allow those with the same frequency to find you because you have a soul contract with them. You've already decided in this lifetime or the next, whenever you decide to get to that frequency, that they are meant to find you. It gets to be that easy. Now, this goes into a deeper conversation of, well, how do I get there? Like, how do I get to that frequency where people find me and people pay me and people sign up and all I have to do is show up and receive guidance? It comes back to unity, comes back to one. You are one of one. You are the only one who can do what you do in the way that you do it. And when you merge the left and right sides of you, divine masculine, divine feminine, when you work with your quantum self, your God self, when you work with your physical body and just know that physical upgrades happen because your frequency is shifting. For example, my frequency has been shifting rapidly over the last couple of years, but it's accelerated towards the end of the year 9. And it was just very quickly was like, eat less red meat, focus on more vegetarian, more bean type meals, drink water, less alcohol. I don't really drink alcohol, but I'll have it at parties or like my husband and I on a weekend night, but then it was like even more less, right? And if you had told me 2 years ago, like again, I'm sure you guys probably know my story, maybe you don't, but I would drink like a bottle of wine a night because I was just trying to get out of the state of burnout I was in, right? If you had told me then that I would just choose not to because it just didn't make me feel good, I would have said you're insane, right? Like I feel fine, or it's like this is just normal how people feel. But it's like as my frequency has upgraded, as I've become the divine channel for what I'm meant to share in this world, it's not that I'm like, actually, and now I'm too good for sugar and alcohol. Now I'm too good for meat. It's like, no, my physical vessel can't hold that anymore. It can't hold that frequency. So what a normal drink for me would have been is actually awful and horrendous. Like it makes me feel like I'm physically like poisoned. And I'm not exaggerating, and I hope that whoever needed to hear that message hears that. What feels really daunting to you now, if you follow your breadcrumbs and allow your frequency to shift and allow your vessel to hold what's meant to, will seem just like second nature. Like, oh, of course, it has to happen that way because this is just who I am. So your supernatural self, your God self, your quantum self, your physical vessel. And then your subconscious mind, the one that holds all of these past limiting beliefs, patterns, shadow work that we get to move into wisdom. When we remove the charge from trauma, it becomes wisdom. When we look at merging all aspects of this, of ourself, we can see how we come into oneness. We come into wholeness. We come into unity. We come into being. And in that unity and in that oneness and in that being, Christ consciousness, Magdalene consciousness, God consciousness, you understand that everything else that you feel is blocking you in this lifetime that doesn't match the timeline that you're choosing, it's simply an illusion. It's one made by you, one of your own creation. These things aren't holding you back. They're showing you how to move forward. They're showing you what you need to shift, how you need to examine it under a microscope. What is this showing me? What do I need to embody? And maybe you won't know, but you get to derive the wisdom. Now, I've been talking a lot about Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. I've been talking a lot about God, the story of Genesis in my content, and how the Bible is a frequency shifter, a historically accurate document in some ways, and also a parable, a riddle, a consciousness guide. And as I'm doing all this work, and I'm seeing this outside of space and time continuum that's occurring with people finding my content at my frequency, I'm also seeing another pattern emerging when we talk about shadow work and trauma and wisdom. Over the last year, I've had a lot of trouble with people that are really close to me, just struggling to see this version of me. And if you've been around here before, I preach empathy, right? Because they didn't sign up for this version of you, but they still love you, and they still want to understand, but they don't know how, and they're working on it. But we gave them that opportunity for their growth, a portal for their own expansion. And so we give love to people going through these growth, feeling these triggers, feeling these reflections, even if they don't know what that is yet. We give love to them, right? And one of the things that really came through for me was just this pattern of, people are going to see me through their lens of perception. Their reality is simply their lens of perception. And my reality is my lens of perception. And when you are different from their reality, from their lens of perception, what you do is you threaten them. Your presence alone threatens their reality. It threatens what they think they know. It threatens their ego. And that threat will cause, unfortunately, fear, sometimes conflict, disharmony. But you have a choice. Do you allow this conflict, this fear, this disharmony to penetrate your being, or do you understand and give empathy and love and create boundaries around your safety and your peace? And what I found was that all that work over the last year to understand that they were just trying to see me in the only way that they can, and I did threaten their reality and their peace, was a precursor to this work, because my work's very polarizing and it can cause some conflict in people. And I've received threats. I've received death threats online for sharing my truth. But I can see, right, how over the last 9 months, the last year, all that was preparing me to understand that, hey, you're just viewing it through your lens of perception, your reality. It's okay. It's okay. Like, but block, because that's rude. But it doesn't threaten my message. It doesn't threaten who I am. It doesn't threaten who I'm here for. So I'm sharing all of this with you, this whole arc of my business and things that have been happening for me over Christmas break and the time and space and the unity and the one, because you are here with a mission. You are here with a message to share. You are here to change the fabric and consciousness of humanity to help aid in ascension, and you are meant to be well paid for this work. Your vortex is meant to be supported with your work. You are meant to live a life of luxury and ease that your soul is calling you to. The reason you want it so bad is because it's already done, and it's not greedy and it's not bad and it's not the illusions that you've been told. It's support. It's a vortex. It's an energy. It's a frequency. And so as you embody this frequency, as you move and try and move into alignment and into unity and into one and merge all these parts of yourselves and follow the breadcrumbs and allow your truth to be illuminated by what's coming through for you, you are going to face these challenges in some shape or form. You will face ego death. You will face people not understanding you. You will face a difference of opinions with your spouse, some people you love more than anything in this world. But it's not your job to remain small for other people's comfort. It is your job to ground down, to understand that you are a spiritual being having a physical experience in this dimension. It is your job to trust that you are a divine intuitive channel and that your work is meant to come through you to be put into this world with aligned actions. It's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's not a dream, it's aligned, it's an action, it's a post, it's an email, it's a broadcast. It is the frequency that you're bringing into this world, and it is important. When you ground down, open yourself up, receive this guidance, and take aligned actions, you allow for the soul contracts that already exist and are signed to be fulfilled. And that comes in the form of clients, cash, money, opportunities, wealth, abundance, joy, love, peace, harmony, unity, one. And it can come with the opportunity for other people's growth. If you silence yourself, if you make yourself small, if you doubt your mission, doubt your message, doubt what you're here to do in this world, and doubt that anybody would understand you, and you're afraid of being called crazy or whatever it is, whoever needs to hear this today, listen up. When you doubt yourself, you limit other people's opportunity for growth. Trust that you are the channel, that you are divine, that your mission and message is meant to shift and change humanity and aid in the ascension of the human race for all of us. Trust that you are meant to be paid well, supported, loved, and endeared for this mission. And trust that any conflict or resistance, or I feel like it's almost like you're brushing up against abrasion, is an illusion. And it's a threat to your ego, not your divinity. And when we limit ourselves and we make ourselves small, when we put ourselves down or dilute our message, we deny others their access and opportunity for growth into their mission, into their message, into what they are meant to do in this world. You are one of one, but we are one of all. And when we sit in our oneness and we sit in our unity of self and we allow this message to move through us and we don't filter it and we proclaim loudly what we're here to do in this world, we allow others to grow with us and them to step into their oneness and their genius and their mission and their message and the thing that they are meant to do in this world so beautifully like nobody else can. And then we all rise together. Do you see it? Do you see it? It's one of you, one, unity within and unity with all. This is the common goal. This is what we're here for. This is what we're meant for. Everything else is an illusion created by scarcity, lack, and fear to keep you small. In some places, to keep you safe by a perceived threat to your safety, but also to control you, to limit you. No more limitations, no more lack, no more fear, no more scarcity. What would you be doing today? What is the aligned action that you are meant to take today to allow your mission, to allow your message to reach those who it's meant to? You don't have a funnel problem. You don't have a conversion problem. You don't have an ads problem. You don't have a messaging or content problem. You have a flow problem. You have a fragmentation problem. You have an alignment issue. And when you can understand that it's all happening for your benefit, it is you and you are it, and it's moving through you from the divine, grounded down, you'll begin to see how all the pieces come together. If you're listening to this when I release it on Monday, January 5th, hosting an event on Friday, Monday, January 9th, to prepare you for the 11111 portal. So 2026 being the year of one, January 11th is on a Sunday. Prepare your energy, prepare your alignment, prepare your oneness, your unity, your wholeness, so you can start 2026 in the place that you're meant to be. And if you're listening to this after Friday, January 9th, I invite you to move into a space that lets you feel your power. Lets you move into that alignment, lets you move into that freedom, that sovereignty, that unity, that oneness and wholeness that only you can embody. I offer a membership, Quantum Creator membership. We meet once a month. I'll link that below, as well as my program, Super Creator, which is a 6-month transformative journey to your future self, manifesting of the highest order. We don't manifest from the field in my world. We are the field itself. We are one. We are unity consciousness. We are Christ consciousness embodied. And everything that's meant for you is calling to you, asking you to pay attention, asking you to show up, asking you to live in your truth and alignment, and asking you to be who you were always meant to be. So pay attention, look around, ground down, receive, trust, and take those aligned actions. Surrender. It's time to surrender to your divine assignment. Lots of love. Links below, guys. Talk soon.